This is obviously completely different, and we obviously know that Galactus is the destroyer of worlds. It's clearly going to be something where he and potentially the use of the Silver Surfer obviously going to destroy whatever Earth this is, and he's going to use that multiverse bridge to go over to Earth 616. And I've seen people say online, I've seen some theories where they think that when they go from use that multiverse bridge to go over to Earth 616, that Doctor Doom is going to go through that as well somehow. So I think that's probably going to. I don't know the whole. I don't know where the other Russian guy comes into it, but I reckon Galactus won't come into it until halfway through, towards the end at least.
Yeah,
or he'll be like right at the end, even if that.
I saw a lot
Yeah.
about the scene where you see like Sue Storms and the Thing, like you see her powers for the first time, and then you see the Thing running. It's a very similar like beaten down city. So I saw a lot of people discussing how like is that the Silver Surfer fight that's smashing up the city that is kind of the end of their world before they transfer to ours, if that makes sense.
Yeah, 100%. I think that that's going to be. He's going to send the Silver Surfer in, and she's going to do what they do, and then I reckon they'll potentially like take control of it or overpower her or some way, and then Galactus will have to come in and just be like, you know what, fuck it,
Yeah, yeah.
gone.
I think the beauty is that we don't know. Like every time you add a new multiverse story, you have no idea what's going on in their world. So Mister Fantastic being like
Yeah.
the smartest man alive kind of thing. What impact is obviously this is not an origin story, right? You're already partially into their story. So how much impact has he had being the smartest man alive at this point? Is he still not really known? Is this Galactus finding out how intelligent he is, or is that why he's here because he's already a threat to him?
I was gonna say why is he building like a multiverse machine? Like that's a very random thing for him to be making.
Oh, like he's already preparing for the worst.
Yeah, because it don't really make sense why he'd just be making it, you know,
So
for
yeah,
no reason. Unless someone's already come over from a different universe.
Wow. This film's already got that famous thing of like there's someone in it that they haven't shown yet, and like Pedro Pascal posted that picture on Instagram, like covering someone's face, and everyone was guessing who it was because they were having a beer, and certain Marvel actors don't drink alcohol, and who could it be? And someone was smuggled in. So your theory might not be entirely wrong if there's someone already there. It's just who
I do feel
and why
like
are they there?
Robert Downey is in this film at some point, even if it's the
Well, there'll
credits.
be a post-credit scene of
Yeah.
Doctor Doom. Yeah,
Yeah,
100%. I
he
think
has
it
to
would
be
be
there.
silly for them to just chuck in like names for the sake of it. This needs to be like
Yeah,
they need to
definitely.
do this right, or it's just gonna fail because obviously we know the whole history of Fantastic Four and how like in the 90s Marvel went broke and sold it all off and did all this and everything, and this is what needs to restart the love of the Marvel universe. Like it really does need to go out, otherwise it's just done. It's
I,
done.
there's more of a risk than just that because it's when it comes out too. Because it's like the top three films of that time of year are like Superman, Fantastic Four, and Jurassic World, and they're all fighting for that top spot. And
I don't see Fantastic Four winning that at all.
I don't think. I mean, I don't know. I want to say that it would be silly of them to not either bring it forward or push it back like a month. I feel like if they're going to go head to head, I don't know, or
I
maybe it
think
would be a good thing. Maybe it would
Superman's
be.
going to win
I think
out of them two.
both of them will have a very
Yeah,
different traction to it. So, like, Fantastic Four has prior love, not just from people liking Fantastic Four, but also MCU lovers that are still holding on to the string. Whereas
Yeah,
Superman, this is an opportunity to start again. So people are excited because they like Superman and this is a fresh start. And then Marvel, on the other hand, is people holding on and hoping. And they're the audience viewers you're going to get. And that is, you're right, it's make or break for both, to be honest. Because if Superman starts off bad, what are you going to do? And this has been so hyped for so long and is so loved. If this flops, that's like not just rough for the story, But like as we said about bringing back Robert Downey Jr., if his return is a bust, you can't get any lower than that. After like if you ruin Iron Man's legacy kind of thing, what's the point of this? Like, there's nothing left.
I'm still not sure on it. I'm really not.
I don't think it could save Marvel.
No.
I think they have to wait until they do the Avengers films where they make all the money, and then even after that is when they're going to save it.
I just don't know what the Fantastic Four really input. Like, I love them as their own standalone story, but like when you think of where we are in the MCU currently,
yeah,
I don't understand where they slot in or help anything.
This is all. This is all the whole. This is all somehow going to be like. It's when you look at the original sort of start of the MCU. You've got like the whole Iron Mans and Captain Americas and stuff, and this is. This is easily going to be like the start from now. I think this is like the first proper Captain America new film coming out.
Yeah.
We've got the Thunderbolts. This is all leading up to what will be hopefully an endgame sort of level when you've got like the wars and all of that, and that's where Doom's going to come in. And I don't know. I want to try and stay optimistic, but
has it got a saga name yet? You know, like you had the Infinity Saga, Multiversal Saga. Are we even at that point yet?
I think it's still
part of the multiverse technically, because obviously,
Secret Wars.
This film is going to be a multiverse film. Fantastic Four is a multiverse film. I mean, it's clearly, obviously, going to be with the bridge and Galactus coming in. They're going to have to go to a different universe. I mean. Simple as that. There's no other way around it.
The multiversal bridge brings up the topic of like the Council of Reeds, and obviously that's classic Marvel fans guessing who and what could be in it. People aren't even like looking at the OG 2000s Fantastic Four. Like instantly, people have thought about, is this the redemption for Miles Teller coming back as the Maker? And like, I'm not opposed to it. If you were to cast a brand new like Mr. Fantastic, I wouldn't have picked Miles Teller anyway. But now, he's there. He is there. We can't deny that. So him coming back is just kind of like you kind of sit in the cinema and go,
refresh. I can't remember off the top of my head what that scene in the Multiverse of Madness where you've got obviously like Reed Richards.
Yeah.
What Earth is he from?
Number wise. I don't know what the number is off the top of my head.
I don't know. Yeah.
Because I'm just saying how. Yeah.
So we've got. This is our fourth Mr. Fantastic, second Johnny Storm.
So, I like Pedro Pascal. I think
I'm not sold.
I think he's an odd. I don't like him as the choice, to be honest. I think he's too old compared to the others. I don't think he's as good as people think. I think he plays the same role in everything, to be honest.
I think you're right. I think he's on the Hollywood hype train. Like, he's good at certain things.
He's like Chris Pratt.
Yeah, he's good at what he does. I wouldn't have personally picked him for this role. I don't think I really have any issue about his age, but I think like I really struggle to see him playing a smart guy. That sounds really weird, but like you think of him in like Kingsman or The Last of Us or just literally anything else, he's always kind of been that cool outlander dude, if that makes sense. And to now put him in like a staple leadership role of the smartest man alive, I'm not sold.
Maybe this will be his kind of his make, even though he doesn't need a make or break. It's a role to show that he can play other roles than quite similar roles that have come before.
It'll be weird because you're right, he doesn't need making, but what does this mean for him after this? Because obviously he's signed on for multiple Marvel pictures, right? But like, almost like the way that we're talking about it is that like, this could make Pedro Pascal. This is his role that you'll remember him for in 30 years. No, I'm not feeling that. I'm not. Like, I think it'll be a cool like sub story, like Chris Evans. You got before you stapled Chris Evans as Captain America. You go, oh, do you remember him in Scott Pilgrim? And you kind of laugh because everyone knows and that's as far as it goes. And I have a feeling that's what Pedro Pascal will be like in 20 years when you think back of him as Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah.
I don't think it's his staple role.
I think it would have been Mandalorian if Mandalorian season. I know this is a tangent, but if Mandalorian season 3 didn't come out, I think Mandalorian would have been the thing everyone remembered him by.
He still has the opportunity. They've still got the Mandalorian and Grogu film coming. I think it's taken too long though. That's the problem.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
It's incredible how he's managed to staple himself as an actor when 75% of his entire show he doesn't even show his face.
Yeah.
And you still picked the Mandalorian over anything.
Yeah. Well, he's got a huge career, huge few years coming up. Last of Us this year, Fantastic Four, and then Mandalorian. Is that next year?
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty good.
I'm not sold on. Okay, right. Okay, here it is. I'm not sold on Sue Storm or Johnny Storm at all.
I'm not sold on Johnny Storm at all.
Okay, so the way I look at it, they're brother and sister, and they're meant to be. This is going to sound really weird, but they're meant to be like really attractive, right? So
I know what you're saying.
Think back at like Johnny Storm, Human Torch, back in 2000 and whatever. Chris Evans was perfect for that time. He was kind of like the American douchebag of the era. So the shaved head, the vest, the Porsche, the dirt bikes. Like he was perfect for that era. Whereas if you think about what actors are that classic blonde American like douchebag thing of today, there isn't.
Yeah.
And that's where, I'm very open to Joseph Quinn playing it, but I'm not feeling it. He can prove me wrong. Even from that trailer, I'm not feeling that like Playboy feel from him, which Chris Evans definitely gave in that era.
I completely agree. I was thinking the exact same thing. Maybe I'm pessimistic, but I don't. Joseph Quinn is a really good actor. I just don't know whether he could play this like show off, flamboyant, pardon the pun, character that Chris Evans played, that Johnny Storm is. But then again, they haven't shown anything really other than when he sat on that chair, which, to be fair, was a Johnny Storm
thing
type.
To do.
Yeah.
I think the thing that's going to be difficult is showing Johnny Storm in the early 2000s. It was really easy to play off that like douchebag look with everything, right? This is a like modern retro 60s film. What is a 1960s douchebag like? And on top of that, in a futuristic modern feel, what does that even mean? How do you even show that? I have no idea. And the key part about his character being a douchebag is his sister, Sue, calling him out on it. Again, another character that's meant to be stupid attractive. And I don't feel it. I'm really sorry. Vanessa Kirby fans, I'm not.
Yeah, I disagree.
Not with it.
You know the press part before the trailer. Don't you think when maybe I'm being too quick to judge, but they were like, "Oh, the chemistry is unreal here. We all love each other."
Yeah,
there didn't seem to be much chemistry for them all stood there, in my opinion.
But is that proper Marvel Disney like PR marketing? Do you know what I mean? Like you're
just to say that.
But of course, like everything they say, there's something to it, or they've been told to say the way they're meant to say it. You know what it's like? We've all seen the Andrew Garfield being like, it's Photoshop and all this and all that.
Yeah.
They 100% think down things even as simple as like comments like that because of people like you that think that.
Yeah.
So that's why.
Yeah.
And when you're standing in a room with members of the public that are watching it and streaming, so I think it was like 250,000 people at the time, everyone is looking for anything. And all it takes is someone to go, I think this. And there's a whole YouTube clickbait thing about why that's happening of this person.
That is true, yeah.
And that takes us actually quite well into talking about like clickbait stuff. Marvel is famous for putting fake stuff in a trailer. I don't know
what do you reckon was in that.
I don't know what could be in this trailer that is fake. I've seen
It's that obviously with
speculations.
Infinity War.
Yeah. I've seen speculations of like the scene of the Human Torch like flying through the city. Is that with the Silver Surfer edited out of it, as in being chased?
Yeah.
I know
yeah.
this is a bold call, but even something as simple as like the multiverse chalkboard, that could be that's placed on purpose.
Yeah, I think as well that scene when they're looking out over the sky and it's all red.
Mm-hmm.
There's something clearly going on there.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
There just needs to be something going on there. Whether it's obviously not Galactus because he's coming in during the day, but something's happening, and they've edited it out 100%.
Yeah, and I wouldn't even be surprised by the thing charging at something rather than just running. They're very good at stuff like that. I don't know what I would potentially see and go, that seems out of place, get rid of it, or the opposite and go, who's missing from that shot?
Yeah. But I do want to say the posters are some of the best posters that Marvel have released ever for this film.
Yeah, the individual ones look great.
Yeah.
I just like the minimalism. That's just what it is.
They're not like the the multiple heads.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we will probably get that when the film comes out.
I really hope we don't.
Yeah.
But no, they have to do that with some of their agencies and all this. We need to have them somewhere on the poster, but
yeah,
I'll just leave it as just the logo of the Fantastic Four, and I'll be happy. That's all we need.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do like it a lot. I think the thing that we've forgotten is like it's a poster. Like, what do you do with a poster? A poster's meant to hang in your room, and it's meant to be cool. And I think people are, you're right, fed up with the whole like the floating head idea. Some of them look great. Some of them are so obviously like media catching. Please sell my client. But when you have just like a poster like just the classic four with the names written around, that's a like one of them posters that you like. You buy an HMV 30 years later, like a Jurassic Park poster that's still iconic shot. Yeah. That's what that is. We don't see it very often anymore.
Yeah, proper 80s.
60s. One thing that we can't not talk about is The Thing. Something extremely hard to master, and no matter what you do, people will moan.
I don't think it's the best, but I don't think what they've shown us is the final product, really.
I hope not. I love the design. I love how they've kept his original voice. But I can feel that CG a very minimal amount. And I don't mind it because it still looks great. But if they cleaned it up or like smooth matted it out a little bit so it didn't have that CG shine, I think you couldn't get much better.
Yeah. Yeah, because he does obviously wear the Thing outfit, it seems, and I think that's great. It's just, they just need to be very careful with the CGI with it, because anything that's just that little thing, and that will tip people over the edge, especially with Marvel fans.
Yeah, and like CGI is a big thing to master, but it's the little things that make scenes or like characters like that good. So like the bit where he's in the kitchen and he claps his hands, you can hear the rocks clacking, and I know that's so simple, but like it does mean something. Like when you throw it back to like the OG 2000 Fantastic Four, that's all you heard from him was that like rock rubble sound. So it's simple, but it's needed, big time.
Yeah, I agree.
And him in the suit, I love it. I really like the suits.
They did that really, really well. Really, really well.
I was scared at first because you talk about any superhero and their like original concept drawing suits or even their comic book suits, that really is difficult to translate into live action. And like, again, we're talking about Superman and stuff coming out of the year with the classic comic book suit year. Again, hard to do, and they've done a very good job. It's going to be really hard to translate into like seeing that for a full feature film. It's been cool to see it on posters and stuff, but like I'm going to assume if they're dressed like that, the rest of the entire universe is dressed in a similar like modern retro aesthetic, and then they won't stand out anymore. It will be that time, that era, that universe, and it will look like it fits the part. It's when they come through to 616 that they're going to stand out. And who knows, classic Marvel, they might get another suit if they enter 616 at the end of that film.
They probably will at some point, but I do like it is a bit like Captain America in the first Avengers film, because his suit is like kind of ridiculous, but you like it because of that, and that's what the Fantastic Four suits remind me of.
Yeah.
I think it's needed every time. So like we all can't stand that original Captain America suit, but we wouldn't be where we are now without it. And if you didn't do it, you would be upset that it didn't happen.
Yeah.
So I don't know what I want the Fantastic Four suit to continue to look like. The like personal preference, like the Marvel Rivals suit, I love. I love the original like 2000s one. Not a fan of like the Miles Teller Fantastic Four one. That's literally just like military gear, but the 60s aesthetic is beautiful. The colours are brilliant for that time, and if it does change, I'm open to it. If that makes sense. Like the last real suit change we got was Spider-Man, which we've seen in like the flicker of the last couple of seconds, and we were happy with that. So if we're going down that theme and that road, I think we're off to a good start.
Sue Storm, I think, like I've got nothing negative to say at all. I don't know if you two do.
I do.
I think
I'm not a fan.
Yeah,
I'm not a fan. Again, to the point we kind of made earlier, they're meant to be like very attractive brother and sister, and I appreciate maybe she's not my type. I get that, but I'm not feeling it. They've got like the classic like the hairstyle of the era, and I love that. It suits the character really, really well. I'm not sold on her though. I'm not feeling it. Whereas maybe I'm biased because Jessica Alba was like my introduction to the character. I'm not sold on Vanessa Kirby, and I'm sorry. I don't know who I would pick though.
I'm optimistic. I'm very optimistic about it all.
They could have picked Jessica Alba again. She looks the exact same.
I don't think she'd do it. She didn't enjoy doing the first one.
Oh, did she not?
It was her like make or break acting role, and she expressed
there's
interest.
A scene where she has to get like naked in the street.
Classic. But she expressed like wanting to act more and show off her talent, and they were just like, "That's not you in this. Just look good over there." And although it's like her film, the film that she's known for, she's upset that she never got to show off her like acting potential.
That's fair.
And you feel that when you watch it back, like she isn't the main character that you think of when you think of that film. Like Chris Evans is the spotlight of that film. She's over there, kind of thing.
Yeah,
I get that. I'm looking forward to it. I'm hyped.
It'll be good. I'm very excited.